All right, welcome to the Stream 25 version of CIS119DO and its Oracle SQL. It's basically dealing with relational databases. How many of you have done any type of work with databases? Anything with databases, anything with SQL? So we have some professionals in the room, right? Yeah. So this is essentially an introductory class. So if I go too slow, just let me know, but probably won't. If you know anything about databases and accessing database and SQL and Oracle, then yes, this will be familiar with you. And just to let you know, I've been working in databases for a long time. Well, before I was teaching, I was a DBA for a while, like 4 years as a database administrator, and all I did was manipulate SQL. And this is kind of the start of the relational database model. But well, just to give you a brief introduction of myself, and I will allow you to introduce yourselves as well. I've done just about everything. I've been around a while. I was in industry for about 25 years. I was in the military. I worked for the government. I've done everything from software development to programming to cybersecurity and basically now I'm in the realms of mostly cyber. My primary institution is Grand Canyon University. I did teach at ASU for a while, but I'll admit I didn't really like it. So I like it better here at GCU. I went to school. You saw my introduction. I have a couple of degrees from U of A, so I know that there's a conflict of interest there. Sun Devil, although I was a diehard Sun Devil football fan. So, all right, there's people waiting, so give me a second to let them in. And mark them. So someone came in on their iPhone. Can you tell me who you are? I just have an iPhone. Normally I won't let you in, but so someone came in on their iPhone. I need to know who you are. So please unmute yourself and identify yourself, or else I'll have to kick you out. iPhone. I'll give you a couple minutes to figure out how to use your iPhone. So anyway, that's me. I've been teaching, full-time teaching for about, 6, 7 years now. Before that, I was adjunct for a couple of years. I really like CGCC. I like what they're doing at that institution. It was really a discovery for me. The community colleges are actually doing some things that are a lot better than what we're doing here at the four-year institution. So you are in the right place if you feel like you're missing out, you really aren't. So, all right. That being said, yes, I'm Dwight. As I said, I've done a lot, and I really I like teaching in person, but this model is okay. So, so who wants to just give me a couple minutes of who you are, why you're here, and promise me that you're not going to drop out the class or not do the work. All right, go ahead, Vera.
Oh, hello. I'm Vera. Why am I here? I'm here in part to work toward a bachelor's degree in IT, though SQL specifically is something that's practically applicable for my job. So I'm looking forward to learning more about it.
Good. Thank you. All right,
No worries.
who's
Should I
next?
All right.
Someone? Mario, you're having too much time over there. You're smiling too big. You're gonna have to fill me in. Who are you? Why are you
I'll go
here?
next. My name is Mario Correa. I'm born and raised in Arizona. I was in corrections last year in Eloy. I was in Red Rock facility, and I helped a lot of inmates rehabilitate, go to school, and be able to do their time and help them out with connections. After corrections, I want to go back to school, and I want to focus on I'm trying to get my bachelor's for information technology
Mhm.
for in Maricopa Community College. So I'm gonna do my 90 credits at Sharon Gilbert and then go to the Phoenix College and finish my degree. And after that, I want to help people and become an attorney and be able to help do criminal law and help. What I saw in the facility, there's a lot of injustice,
Oh,
and I want to be able to like help with the future and be able to help the people that need it, because there's a lot of stuff that happens around the world, and like there's a lot of laws that people don't know, and it's very unfair. But
oh, absolutely. Well, good for you.
yeah, no, thank you, and I'm excited to take the class and learn something cool. I did Python last semester.
Mhm.
Oracle's different, but I'm excited to learn and
Yeah,
see how it
Oracle
goes.
is, Oracle is different, so you're gonna have to take your Python hat and put it aside for a little bit, so.
Yes, sir.
But keep that logic thinking, this is scripting, so.
Yes, sir.
All right, who's next? How about Angie?
Hi, so my name's Angie. I am originally from Philadelphia, go Eagles. I've lived in Arizona for like 6 years. I did my bachelor's and my master's in criminology and criminal justice. And then when I graduated, I didn't find a job in criminal justice.
Uh-oh.
Um, so I don't know how I ended up in tech. I do know how I ended up in technology, but we're gonna keep it short and sweet and cute. So somehow I ended up working in technology. I decided one day that I wanted to do something different, and I took a Scrum Master certification class. I updated it on my LinkedIn, and like the everything kind of just like worked out, and I ended up. This was about 3 years ago now. I've been with my company. I started out as a business analyst, and now I'm currently working as a quality analyst. So I do run a lot of queries in our like SQL database and kind of piece things together. But I'm working specifically on a artificial intelligence machine learning certificate. So this is one of the requirements. And I touch SQL every day, so it would be nice to like formally learn it and not just kind of what I've been able to piece together.
Oh, you're gonna be one of my resident specialists. Come on. Yeah. Okay, how about Suhasini? Is that the way you pronounce it? You have to correct me because
Yeah, that's fine. Hi, I'm Suhasini. I have been living in Arizona from past 10 years. Earlier, I have worked as an application developer, and from past few years, I was not working. There is a career gap, so I want to restart my career with the new technology. So, as part of that, I enrolled in AAML certification. So, to complete that, I need to take this course.
all right, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, how about Dayton?
Hello, my name is Dayton. I'm currently working towards my associates in programming and system analysis. This is one of the requirements. I've taken Python and C++. I'm looking forward to taking this class and learning more.
All right, glad you're here, Dayton.
Yep, thank you.
And
Nice to be here.
Mackenzie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mackenzie. I have a little bit of experience with SQL just from work. I work as a malware analyst now. We do malware remediation for websites, typically small to medium businesses, and a lot of them use WordPress, which, if you've ever
yeah.
heard of it before, it needs a SQL database to work. So I have a little bit of experience there. Most of my knowledge is surrounding web app stuff, and I kind of got into the cybersecurity space around 3 years ago, and I'm super interested in it. So I'm excited to expand my knowledge in this class.
Great to meet you, Mackenzie. Thank you. All right, Jordan.
Hello, my name is Jordan. I'm currently getting my associates in computer information systems at South Mountain, but I'm taking a bunch of classes everywhere in the valley. But um, Yeah, I have a little bit experience with SQL. Last year, just working with a little bit of database, just a little bit though. I'm excited to learn more though.
Well, we have a lot of experts in the room. I just know it. Okay, Vanessa, how about you?
Hi, everybody. My name is Vanessa Morales. I just graduated with my doctorate in counseling psychology this year. And I wanted to learn AI and get the associates in AI and machine learning so that I could think about how I could combine those two fields, AI and mental health. I'm also adjunct counseling faculty here at Chandler Gilbert Community College, and I own a small DEI business focused on culturally competent counseling, coaching, and training for organizations.
You, where'd you get your doctorate?
At ASU.
At ASU.
And I'm completely new to SQL. I don't know any of this. I don't know if I'm going in the wrong direction, but I'm willing and excited to learn.
If you want to do AI and ML, you have to know SQL. You have to know data. I tell you.
I'm taking Python at the same time that I'm taking this. I don't know if you want to mention at all. Is that a good idea, or is it better?
Because you're a smart person, you can handle it. But you're going to have to separate the two because they're different types of languages. And you can get confused very easily. But Python is pretty straightforward. That logic thinking will help you to understand SQL too. So, all right.
Thank you.
Yeah. How about Jeffrey?
Hi, you guys might hear a little background noise, but my name's Jeff. I've been working IT since 2009. I started on the service desk, and I've been moving my way up. I've used SQL when I use SCCM as my main function now, and so that all uses SQL. So I've had to, just because we don't have a SQL guy, just mess around with some just the code just to pull reports. But other than that, right now, my main job focus is operating systems and driver deployment. And my goal right now is I am getting my certificate here for web development. And my goal is to open a web design company where I can help smaller businesses have affordable websites that I can maintain.
Good for you. Thanks, Jeff. Okay, how about Sopika or Sopico? Please correct me. I'm just reading your name, so.
Hi, my name is Sopiko. I'm from the Republic of Georgia. I moved to Arizona like 3 years ago, and I have a master's degree in natural resources. I've worked for forest agency to write code in R, so I loved it, and I decided that I want to change my career to data analysis or database management, which I'm trying to finish a certificate now, hopefully this summer. This class is one of the requirements. So also I'm very excited because I've had a class called MySQL database, which I really enjoyed. So I'm very excited for this one too.
All of you are going to breeze through this class, no problem, aren't you? I just know it. I'm gonna be sitting back twiddling my thumbs like, oh, trying to keep up with you all. All right, how about Martha?
Hi everyone, I'm Marta Shra. I'm from Ethiopia, and then I've been here before 3 years. It's my second language, and then my major is information technology, and then I'm excited for this class. Thank you.
Thank you. How about Joseph Warner?
Sorry?
Hi, I'm Joe. You guys can call me Joe. I was born here in Phoenix, so local. I'm getting my associates in cybersecurity, and I'm looking at transferring to U of A to get my bachelor's.
Hey,
So, and SQL is my first time, so new language to learn. Should be fun.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Joe.
Yep.
How about Cameron? Oh, you're unmuted, but we don't hear anything. Technology. You can type in the chat if you hear me.
Can you guys hear me now?
Oh, now we can hear you.
Okay, sorry, I had to change my mic. My name's Cameron. I'm taking this course as part of my Path to potential mobile app development. That's what I want to do. I've never done SQL, don't know much about it, but I'm excited to learn a little bit of Python knowledge, self-taught, and took a Python course last semester with Vera, actually. We were in the same class.
Great, great.
Yeah.
It'll definitely help you, but it's different. So just prepare yourself. And Kiva, you can round out and tell them how great a class this is or terrible, or your experience since you're going through this again, although it's a different iteration. So go ahead.
Yes. My name is Kiva Whitfield. I had this class last semester. I'm an IT programmer at Salt River Project, and I received my bachelor's degree 2 years ago. But the reason why I wanted to take this class a second go around, I felt like there was so much information, and I felt like taking a second go around would help me enhance my knowledge if I learned deeper into it by having more time. So, with so much stuff that we learned between the midterms and the finals and the preparations that needed to be made, I just felt like I had a little bit more in the tank that I can give for the second go around.
Good for you. All right. So I guess I did an okay job, teaching.
So you did great.
All right. Can you all see my screen? This is Canvas. You're all familiar with Canvas, right? I don't need to go over the Canvas navigation or whatever. But what I would like to do, basically walk through, as I said before, I revised the class a little bit. I updated some information. I tried to update some of the scenarios. I even checked the exams, well, most of it. I took out the questions that were problematic. I added different ones. So Kiva, be prepared for that. But basically, the student resources, you're all familiar with that at Chandler Gilbert. They're very useful. If you need a refresher on any information, I guess the one thing I do want to highlight, this is a hybrid, or you can call it hybrid or traditional online, synchronous or whatever. So we will meet once a week at the same time, 6 o'clock Monday. We will not meet next week because of Martin Luther King Day. So I've added that in. It'll seem like you do have assignments due on the 19th, but I pushed everything back to, as I say, we're going to start off a little slow and we'll pick it up, but we will not meet next week. So make sure you mark your calendars there. It doesn't crimp anything as far as the curriculum, because in the midst of all that, we even have President's Day and spring break, but that's why it's kind of backloaded a little bit more than I would want. And really because we only meet Mondays. So anyway, so you can go through all of I've changed the structure of the course to modules, but these are the pre-modules, like getting started. I have a little section here that you probably know what I look like now. I put my picture in there, talked a little bit about my background, a little bit. But yes, please review that, my office hours, the typical expectations for a hybrid or online class are in there. Before we get into the specifics of Oracle, there's a certification that you all should be aware of. There's classes that are involved. A part of this certification is 12 credits. If you complete that, those 4 classes, then you're certified Oracle developer, or whatever you want to call it, or it's a certification of completion. But if you put that on your resume, employers will pique their interest. They will know that you've gone through what Oracle has put together as far as a qualification to be a SQL developer or a database analyst, etc. So, and if you want more information, we're pulling it right from the Oracle certification, and they do have an exam that you can take and basically once you complete the 4 courses, it should be a breeze for you to complete this certification. So, and that's all. We're an Oracle partner here at CGCC, so I would definitely not ignore that, because once again, that certification is pretty valuable. All right, resources as far as textbooks, please don't run out and purchase any of these textbooks. You really don't need them unless you're truly a tactile learner and you have to have the book in front of you, I will provide all information needed. But these are recommended. They just go into the specifics of Oracle SQL. It is a little bit different than MySQL, a little bit different than SQL Server. But if you learn Oracle SQL, you can move to any of the iterations of SQL. It's not a big problem. So these are not required. They're just recommended. It's the Oracle. And this Oracle database reference guide, it's actually pretty old. It's probably 10 to 15 years old now, but it is applicable to what we learn. I mean, I think we're on the version 23 or 24 or something like that. But and then this Castile book is actually pretty good. So just recommend it, but you really don't need them. I will post along with the recording within this module. Let me check the emails here just a second to see it's information from students. All right, I'll get back to that. Students that aren't here. So you'll have access to the recording. I generally will post the recording in the announcements, but the lecture material will be within the module. Okay, so you can reference the video and look at the lecture material. And it basically all that's in this particular for lecture 1 is just me going over this particular part, getting you started, welcoming you, saying, hey, we're going to have a really good time learning. All right. This I want to highlight because it is required. And as you may or may not know, basically we want you to complete an assignment within a couple days. So there's not any questions about your enrollment. So please go through the syllabus quiz. It's just 5 simple questions and you will have to actually read the syllabus. Are you all familiar with the concourse syllabus concept? Is there anyone that doesn't know? So open it up, take a look at it. It's all updated. I actually did it ahead of time. Take a look at it and go through the quiz. This is mandatory. Mandatory. If you don't complete it, you can possibly be dropped from the class. All right, so go through that. That is actually due. Oops. I don't want to do that. That's due Friday. So you got all week. But hopefully you're not procrastinators. Are there any procrastinators in the room? If you are, please raise your hand so I can be aware of that and not expect any work from you until the last half hour before Sunday or whatever the due date is. Okay, Jeff, thank you. So I'm not expecting anything from you early. Yeah, so phew, that takes some of the pressure off me because you'll notice that I grade things pretty quick. I'm kind of waiting there like, oh, and then it's graded. So that's what I do.
I had you in my web development last semester and I noticed that.
Yeah, Sage, yeah, that's what I don't wait around. I want you to get that feedback and I will provide, if necessary, pretty substantive feedback for you to digest or whatever. So be aware of that. My research is in active learning and STEM and all that. So one of the key aspects of active learning is immediate feedback. It truly is. So there you go. That's my little verbiage. So now you know all about my research and everything too. So, all right. So how many of you have attacked the Oracle download? We're going to pause to make sure that if you have not, and it's pretty straightforward, you can either Google Oracle Developer Download. It'll take you right to the Oracle page. So I'm going to demonstrate because we're supposed to do this. Yeah, I have it saved. I won't do it that way. So you can even, well, hopefully you all know how to use your browsers. This is not a browser training class, but if you need a refresher, just type in Oracle Developer Download in the address. It'll take you right to the Oracle Developer Download page, which looks just like that, which is what I have a picture of here. And yes, we're on version 24.3.1. And basically whatever your operating system platform and how many Mac users do I have in the class? Yes, Oracle Developer actually runs on a Mac too, and it runs fine. I actually have it on Mac and Linux on my systems. So and it's probably the database system that runs, independent of the OS very well. So basically choose your version. If you want to download the VS Code version, I would steer away from that. That's primarily for individuals that know Visual Studio Code well. If you're on Windows, make sure you download the 64-bit. Now you can download the JDK, that's just a Java development kit, or the 32, either one of those will work fine. If you're on an Apple or Mac. Now, I do want to point this out. If you're on an M chip, we all know that Mac went from Intel to their own microprocessors. So if you're on an M chip, download the ARM version, the Mac ARM 64, like M1, M2, M3, M4 now. Yes, Vera.
I just had a question about the credentials that we were supposed to receive in our email. Maybe if we could troubleshoot it after class, but I was just wondering, like, who exactly was supposed to send that, and then what to do if we didn't receive it.
Well, the who is me, and I thought I sent
Okay.
it to everyone. If I
Okay.
did not, then either I skipped over your name or you joined the. No, I sent it out last week. Did everyone receive the credentials? So I'm not making that up, right? I actually did send it out. So it's okay, Vera. I will set your credentials here, see what I have available. Basically, they're all the same, and I will open up. The passwords are the same, and you can change the password. It's really not necessary, and I'll explain how that works. We're just using a cloud instance, and it's the same schema, meaning the same database, but you all have a different instance of it. So it's either
Gotcha.
student, whatever, and then that password.
Okay.
All right. So you didn't
Cool.
receive
No,
that, obviously, right?
not that I can gather when I look through my email inbox.
Oh, maybe you deleted it
So
without knowing it on purpose. Maybe you have some cyber. Who's a cyber? Oh, that's Mackenzie, the cybersecurity.
yeah.
Maybe she scanned it. So anyway, we can take care of that. But all right, so that's the download. I'm really happy about SQL Developer. I use it all the time now because it's pretty intuitive. Once you learn how to create work around the query work, the working area, I mean, it actually makes sense. So download it. It's an easy download. I'm not going to do it today. I already have it on this system. As you see here in my little, and we're going to go in there and take a look. But continuing in Canvas. All right, well, before I continue, let me ask how many of you, I did ask this, how many of you have SQL Developer downloading it now because you feel guilty, you didn't do it beforehand, or you're planning to do it like Jeff, Sunday night while he's watching the NFL or something. So how many of you actually have this developer downloaded and actually set up and installed on your system? Please let me know. Right, the rest of you are going to work on that, right? That is an assignment this week. Now it's getting to that. Basically to ensure that the developer is set up and the credentials. And yes, I'm going to send you a private message, Vera, with your credentials, although you can probably figure it out. But anyway, I wanted to highlight essentially the dialog box that you receive and all of the basic things that you have to enter. Just use this page, it's still applicable. Just name it ORCL, default basic, and here's the host name for all you geeky, and the port, and the SID. And it's okay to add your username and password. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open mine to demonstrate. And yes, I haven't upgraded my version. I'm still on 23.1.1. You should all be on 24. But the database, or essentially the schema, is the same. So essentially, this is the landing page, and we will walk through how you manipulate or maneuver around it I'm just gonna, since I have the ORCL set up, I'm just gonna go to the properties, which is the same dialog box. Can everyone see that? Okay. And your username, and I'll have to see which username you have to use, Vera. So yeah, I'm gonna have to
Oh,
go. Uh-oh.
I just wanted to mention, Mackenzie pointed out that it might be in the Canvas inbox, and I checked there, and that's where it was. So I appreciate it. Thank
I'm not
you.
crazy. All right. So anyway, just use those credentials. Yes, in your Canvas. And basically it's student, whatever the number, and then that or password. So so please don't log into anyone else's because it's pretty easy to figure out, well, I won't tell you the complex algorithm I use to assign student numbers, but you can probably figure it out because you're all very savvy students. All right, Mackenzie, you're now designated tutor for the class because you have all the information about all the things that, no? Okay, well, try to drop you into that. So anyway, you can set your credentials in there. There's no need to mask any of this. It's actually protected on the Oracle side. So, so just set that up and you want to test it. Just test it. It'll actually test the connection. It'll indicate success and then just connect. And you should receive. And all I need for the assignment is just this landing page, just a screenshot. And I do have to ask, do you all know how to take a screenshot of your laptop or desktop or tablet or, yeah, don't run this on your phone. It's just not gonna work right. It's just too much that we have to do. And I don't think the developer will run on Android or iOS yet. But so all this needed in that assignment, and we do have some overachievers. Did you submit that already, Jeff? See, you're not a procrastinator, you're an overachiever, so quit saying that. So all I need is a screenshot of this landing page. So it'll have the ORCL, and I can tell right away that it'll have the correct version or whatever. And that's it, just screenshot of that, submit that to that assignment that's coming up here. And then you satisfy the install, and here it is, and it's a whopping 5 points, so make sure you take care of that. The install Oracle SQL Developer assignment, and that's due. Please have that done by Sunday because next week, well, not next week, but in 2 weeks, we're going to go right into understanding SQL and select statements, and ooh, you're going to be like, wow, this is going to be easy. So that's the Oracle, install Oracle SQL Developer. Pretty straightforward, just a screenshot of that page. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah, I just have a quick question, if that's okay.
You've used your quota of questions already, Mackenzie. Wait. Okay,
right.
go ahead.
So I actually did install the one for VS Code just because I like VS Code. I already use it for Docker, so I'm pretty familiar with it.
Well, you're already a super geek, so there, you're fine. Just basically, when you create your screenshots, just make sure you capture the query and the results. It's a little bit different. Other than that, since you're super geek and you're the tutor of the class, designate it. You can't mask it now. So anyway, any other questions? All right, someone's coming in. Hold on while I let them in and add them to the attendance. Okay. Any other questions about the SQL developer? Please get that done. Well, you have a little bit of a cushion now because we start out and we have a break, right? But that's fine. We will continue. And I like to give you, start you out slow, like, oh, this class is going to be a breeze, and then just pounce on you. So prepare yourself for that. I warned you, so if you start complaining and they start questioning my teaching methods, I'll just say I warned them. I gave them a chance to opt out, and they all decided to stay. All right. What else do we need to? There's Yes, you're not done yet, so please pay attention. So there's this file. This is very important. It's what we call a schema file. It's pretty long. What I want you to do, everyone should do this because the table structures that we work with are a little bit different than the default when you add the ORCL. You have to download, and it's just a text file. So just make sure you download this CIS119DO text file. It's actually a SQL file, but I turned it into text because it's a little bit easier. You can open it up easier. And all you need to do is copy all of this to your clipboard. And hopefully you know how to do that. Highlight it, Control A, right click, copy all the whole file. Now, there's some things in here that are not applicable, but it's easier just to run the whole file. And it will actually create some errors when you build. So you're basically building your data schema and adding the data to it. So yes, it's long. It seems very daunting. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. Just copy all of it. And once again, back in the developer. All right. This is something that I'll remind you of. The way you can start a SQL or a query workbench. There's a little icon here, a little green guy that says, you can't read that. I can't read it, not even with my glasses. It actually says SQL, SQL. You click on that, and it will say select connection. And for us underachievers or not super geeks like McKinsey, it'll just have one in there. So you just click OK and give it a second. It will open up the query builder section. So did I copy that? So your first order of business is to copy that huge file and just paste it in there. And you're like, wow, that's a lot of lines. Don't try and go through this right now and understand everything in here. You're going to learn, even you super users, you're going to learn all about this in the class. Just copy it in there and run it. Click the green arrow. I'm not going to run it again because I've ran it too many times and maybe my system will blow up if I run it again. So copy, paste, run. And it'll run through and you'll get some errors. Don't panic. There's some things that we changed in there and we still want you to run it. Ignore the errors. If it pauses or, well, hopefully it won't blow up your system. It shouldn't. Now, this is one thing that I procrastinated on. I should have gone through here and cleaned up some things, but I did not. So I forgot to do that. But that's fine. So just copy, paste, and run. Does that make sense to everyone? I have to have you all do that before we start querying our database, okay? Because you won't have the right tables, right? So I'm not going to save that. The good thing, I said I wasn't going to save it. I'm not paying attention. The good thing about the developer, it has an autosave feature. If you accidentally close it, it will give you the opportunity to save any of your queries, which is what I recommend. Just save them, and then you can find them and reopen them so you're not typing in. And we'll go over that. We have plenty of time to go over that, just the whole process and the structure and navigation of SQL Developer. Any questions? I'll pause because I'm tired of talking. Any questions about that? Vanessa, Sopico? Nope. Joe?
I have a question really quick. I'm sorry if I missed it. Can you go over again like because I have VS Code as well. And that's what I was gonna go with, but since the instructions might be easier to follow with the actual application, I was wondering which Mac option it was supposed to use.
What processor do you have on your Mac?
I have an M1 chip or M2, one of
I was going to
those.
say, don't say M1.
M3. It's M3 actually.
Phew. Thank you.
Yay.
You want to choose the Mac ARM64 with JDK.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
All right. See, I saved that just because I knew you were going to ask that question. See, I'm a mind reader too. That's why I lived so long. Well, this long anyway. All right. Any other questions? So once again, to summarize, once you've downloaded and installed, it's pretty easy install. make sure you run the CIS119DO schema. And schema just means database structure. It is the structure of your database, and that's all that is. And if you're truly an overachiever and want to look through, because this is just a long query, it's actually a transactional query. It has several queries all built into one big long query. But don't panic, we're going to learn all about that. Well, some of you already know, like Mackenzie, she's like, ugh, she's yawning. Anyway, so that's required. Those two things, download, install, run the schema. You don't have to run the schema before you submit for that assignment. All that I want for that assignment is the screenshot of the landing page. Just remember that. All that's needed for the assignment, once again, is the screenshot of this page. And please don't copy this, because I already know what this one says. Some students have done that. I mean, that's just cheating. You'll need the developer anyway. So yeah, just saying. I checked those things, so be very careful. All right, and then this NAICS document, it just highlights the tables that we're working on. This is called, well, it's kind of an entity relationship diagram. We'll talk about that, but this one is just the tables, the actual tables that you'll be working with in this schema. Ooh, you're like, what kind of language is this? Well, you're becoming a database person. Talk about schemas and entities and attributes and primary keys and form keys. You're like, oh, stop. But anyway, take a look at this. Just be aware. The best thing that you can do as a database administrator or an analyst is to know the structure of the data, both the tables and how many records. The good thing about our course, our tables do represent, for the most part, like a true company database structure, employees, departments, and you'll get tired of that halfway through the semester. Like, can we go on to something else like toys or something? So anyway, take a look at that. If you're a download person, you can download by clicking on this is just an Excel and saving it in your special folder or whatever. But if you're not, I stopped downloading a while ago. I had too many. Well, I just rely on my computers because I have enough of them, and hopefully they don't. Well, if they break, I'll fix them or try to, or send them to Mackenzie. Yay. All right, I'll stop picking on you. All right, the NAICS document is what is referred to as an entity relationship diagram. Please don't worry about what this is and what it represents. You can probably intuitively figure out, essentially, if you're in a relational database system, there's some relationship between the tables, and so I'm giving you some hints and heads up. Especially, you need to retain this information because that may come on an exam sometime sooner or later. But this is called an ERD, and it's basically how the main tables in our schema are related. All right. So I'm scrolling through it. You're like, wait, slow down. Don't worry about it. You have access to it. Download it, take a look at it, dissect it, whatever you need to do. I will talk about this a little more when we get into ERDs. All right. I'm just exposing you all to this information right now, so you know where it is. It's all in module 1. Oh, I forgot to say that. We're in module 1, as I said before. The course was designed in sections, but I decided that didn't make sense to me. So I created modules. So this is module 1. What did I do with this? Hold on. Oh, this is essentially the same thing coming from Oracle. Some of this information doesn't match where we are as far as a developer, but don't worry about it. It's still applicable. It's just kind of a reference. If you ever need to reference certain queries, certain statements, certain functions, that's what this is all about. Come back to this, open up the Oracle window. You can keep it open. Actually, this one was just updated last November. Ooh, that's good. So this is truly applicable, and it has everything in here. Don't try and absorb all this in one sitting because it'll blow your head up. Besides, you don't need to know all this. And that's why you have reference material. If for some reason I say something and you say, oh, he's on drugs, he doesn't know what he's talking about, just please come to the reference. And then the next class, come back and say, you were wrong. I'm okay with that because I'm not right all the time. I think my brain's getting old. So anyway, that's what this is. It's just another part of module 1. Reference information, always useful. Okay. All right. And as you see with the navigation in Canvas, you click the little next button and eventually it should go to the next thing. Of course, it depends upon your network traffic. Yes, so I'm going to entertain you a little bit. We're going to watch a little video because none of you know what a database truly is, right? You're like, well, I work in data, but I don't know what a database is. No, McKinsey knows. Quit raising your hand that way. You know? Okay. Wait, Mario knows. You know what a database is, right? Yeah. Angie knows. She's like, don't show me that video. I've seen it 1,000 times. But Vanessa's like, wait, I need to see this. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and watch it on YouTube.
Welcome to this tutorial series on SQL and database. But before we learn about database, let's understand what is data. In simple words, data can be facts related to any object in consideration. For example, your name, age, height, weight, etc. are some data related to you. A picture, image, file, PDF, etc. can all be considered data. Now, what is a database? We already know what data is, but this data could be random. A database is a systematic collection of data. Since the data in a database is organized, it makes data management easy. What is a database management system? DBMS. Database Management System, or DBMS, is a collection of programs which enables its users to access a database, manipulate data, and help in the representation of data. It also helps control access to the database by various users. Let's discuss a few examples. An online telephone directory would definitely use Database Management System to store data pertaining to people, phone numbers, and other contact details. Your electricity service provider is obviously using a DBMS to manage billing, client-related issues, to handle fault data, etc. Let's consider the Facebook. It needs to store, manipulate, and present data related to members, their friends.
All right, how many of you refer to Facebook as the Facebook? That's, yeah. So just saying, it's a little outdated, but please pay attention because the Facebook is a huge database. So, all right, sorry, I had to interject there.
Member activities, messages, advertisements, and a lot more. We can provide countless numbers of examples for usage of DBMS. Database management systems are not a new concept, and as such had been first implemented in the 1960s. Charles Bachman's Integrated Data Store, or IDS, is said to be the first DBMS in history. With time, database technologies evolved a lot, while usage and expected functionalities of databases have been increased immensely. Types of DBMS. Let's see how the DBMS family evolved with time. The following diagram shows the evolution of DBMS categories. There are 4 major types of DBMS. Let's look into them in detail. Hierarchical. This type of DBMS employs the parent-child relationship of storing data. This type of DBMS is rarely used nowadays. Its structure is like a tree with nodes representing records and branches representing fields. The Windows registry used in Windows XP is an example of a hierarchical database. Configuration settings are stored as tree structures with nodes. Network DBMS. This type of DBMS supports many-to-many relationships. This usually results in complex database structures. RDM Server is an example of a database management system that implements the network model. Relational DBMS. This type of DBMS defines database relationships in forms of tables, also known as relations. Unlike the network DBMS, our DBMS does not support many-to-many relationships. Relational DBMS usually have predefined data types that they can support. This is the most popular DBMS type in the market. Examples of relational database management systems include MySQL, Oracle, and Microsoft SQL Server. Object-oriented relational DBMS. This type supports storage of new data types. The data to be stored is in the form of objects. The objects to be stored in the database have attributes, for example, gender or age, and methods that define what to do with the data. PostgreSQL is an example of object-oriented relational DBMS. So what is SQL? Structured Query Language, SQL, pronounced as SQL or sometimes as SQL, is actually the standard language for dealing with relational databases. SQL can be effectively used to insert, search, update, and delete database records. That doesn't mean SQL cannot do things beyond that. In fact, it helps in optimizing and maintenance of databases and much more. Relational databases like MySQL, Oracle, MS SQL, Sybase, etc. use SQL. SQL syntaxes used in these databases are almost similar, except the fact that some databases use different syntaxes and even proprietary SQL syntaxes. An example of an SQL statement: select star from members where age is greater than 30. DBMS stands for Database Management System. We have 4 major types of DBMSs called hierarchical, network, relational, and object-oriented. The most widely used DBMS is the relational model that saves data in table formats. It uses SQL as the standard query language. SQL is the standard language used to query a database. The database approach has many advantages when it comes to storing data compared to the traditional flat file-based systems.
Pretty wacky way to end that video, but I have to keep you awake, right? All right. So you all know what a database is now, right? And what does SQL stand for? Quick question.
Query language.
Extra bonus if you get it.
Structured query language.
You're supposed to raise your hand. Jeez, what a wild class. Look at that boy. I have to train you all better. Let me move this out of the way. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. So now that you know what a database is, let's see. Well, I don't want to go into normalization yet. That's something that we're going to go over a little bit later. But if you're curious about what that is, because I'm gonna dissect that a little bit more as you begin to understand or get more intuitive about tables and relationship between tables and the whole idea of why we have this model. I can tell you from my experience, there was a time when basically databases were one huge table with thousands of columns and millions of records. And of course, we never had the resources to support that back in those days, because yes, we had to deal with the dinosaurs and all that. But a couple of developers decided that we need to create more efficiencies and et cetera, et cetera. So hence the relational database model was created. And it'll begin to make sense to you in case, well, how many of you are not confused already? So you're all the rest of you are confused. See, that was a trick question, and only a few people raised their hands. So I've already confused most of the class. Oh well, I might as well give up. Anyway, So I am throwing a lot of information out to you, and yes, it'll get worse, but primarily what we're going to do a lot of, you're going to do a lot of querying, building those queries in the SQL developer and satisfying those assignment requirements. All right, each week you will have a module quiz for the most part. The one good thing about these quizzes, there are a lot of points, well, relatively speaking, but if you pay attention and not just check the box, you'll be ready for the exams. I mean, it's typical school stuff, right? The whole idea for you is to retain some of that conceptual information that you're not using for practical purposes. Does that make sense? Well, that's what we do in education. So we do have a quiz right away, due on Sunday. Just go through it. It's mostly auto-graded, but I do check the responses I have to. The one thing I want to encourage you, if you are truly having an issue with any of the questions, I actually did review most of the quizzes, but sometimes I'm sleepy or whatever, and I'll make up something that doesn't make sense. We do that often. So if you're a teacher, and then many times I'll do it on purpose just to see if you're paying attention. That's another part of learning. Just do something ridiculous just to see if the students are paying attention. So, and that's the last thing that you're required to do for this first module. You see, that goes right into module 2. So that's, as I said, I'm going to start you out. Vanessa, you have a serious look on your face. I'm not answering any serious questions.
No. Actually, I was just asking if we want to try to do the module quizzes before we meet. Is it based off of the materials that are already loaded, or is it also based off of conversations that we're going to have during class?
Both.
Okay.
So
wait.
it's probably good to wait till after the lecture. Well, I had one student that went through all the quizzes. I don't know why he did that last semester. And after a while, he didn't really do that well. And you only have one chance. And I do open them. I was told not to open up all the modules in the beginning, but I do that. I don't. And I think if you're an overachiever, I think Mackenzie's going to do this. She's going to go through the whole class in a couple days and just sit back and make fun of us. Yeah. See, she's thinking about that. So if you want, yeah. But to loop back and answer your question, yes, please wait until, because I cover a lot, I give you hints and all these kind of things, because I think that's a part of the learning. Wait until after our lecture on Monday. That's probably the best. And it's probably better to go through the assignment itself and then take the quiz. All right. All right. So that was the getting started and the resources and module 1. And I'll say that it looks like a lot in Canvas. Well, it is a lot. So don't be fooled. Just this first week, I'm taking it very easy on you. Did I say that out loud? I wasn't supposed to say that out loud, but it will pick up. But I want you to get, to be prepared. The class is not hard, but you will have, as Kiba said before, it's a lot of material. And every week it's something different. Every week you'll have to retain some information and refer back to it. Once again, I do record all of the lectures. After all, you get tired of listening to me, that's fine. Just turn the volume down and, well, maybe you won't get anything out of it that way, but it is a possibility. So just to review what you're required for this week, and I do want to point out that you do get a break next week. I'm not going to force you to go through assignments since we just started next Sunday because we have a holiday on Monday. So the next due date is not until February 2nd, and I can't believe it. It's already February. But what you're required for this week, please do the syllabus quiz. That is mandatory. And Jeff, where is he? Oh, there he is. Why'd you move? So did you do the syllabus quiz already, Jeff? All right, don't wait until Friday. You'll make me mad anyway, but don't wait because that's all manually graded. So don't wait until Friday at 11:57 and then buzz through it and you'll have all the wrong answers. And get it out of the way And then you have the install Oracle SQL Developer that is required. Remember, all I need is a screenshot of the ORCL connection. And I'll talk about that more along the way, what it is, why you all can work on the same database. Because it used to be a shared database. Now, since we have cloud technologies now, and you all know about that, you actually work on an instance yourself with your login, and you're not going to bother anyone else. So you can do anything you want with that instance. And that brings up another point. If you want to, if you're an advanced, SQL person like Mackenzie, and you want to investigate, you can build your own schema in there, and it's active while you're in the class. Just make sure you can manage that and not, create some. Yeah, if you confuse me, then that's it. I just have to give you a bad grade because I'm confused. But all right. So any follow-up question? Oh, let me finish the requirements for the week. I got ahead of myself. Sometimes I do that and I have to take a breath. All right. So what's required, the syllabus quiz, please take care of that. Install SQL Developer, please take care of that. And then the quiz, well, I mean, if you just want to not get those 20 points, that's up to you. But the quiz is based on the material, and some of it I did not cover on purpose, just to see if you're paying attention. I would watch that data normalization video. And then that brings me to my other point. We'll spend a lot more time together. I don't like to hold you too long because many of us work long days and then we have to sit through a class with a boring professor. That's why I try to make it not boring. But generally hour and a half, hour and 45 at the most, depending on the material. We're told don't cut the classes short, but I mean, come on. Sooner or later, you're just going to turn your cameras off because you're yawning and you're eating and you just want to go to bed. And me too, I want to go home. So I'm like, I'm not answering any questions. But I do want to state that as it says in the syllabus, I do have office hours before the class and after if needed. So don't be afraid to ask me for that if you need additional help. Once again, there's quite a bit of information that you'll need to grasp. A lot of it not immediately, but the way that I teach, I'm assuming that you're retaining some of that information, and I'm not going to review it unless you really are struggling with it. And SQL is a language where you can intuitively, grasp some of the concepts because, the syntax is very user or English or whatever you want to call it. Not as easy as Python, but it's pretty user friendly or developer friendly or programmer or scripter friendly. And we're going to go over that first query. Well, since we're not going to meet for 2 weeks, let me just do this right away. Let me reshare my screen. Oh, did I stop sharing? Oh, can you see Oracle Developer? I don't know what I'm doing with this system. All right. I'm going to run a very simple query for you. Please make a note of this. And the good thing, if you have the Oracle Developer open and you created that connection, you just need to start it again and it won't ask you for which connection. So our first query, and please run this when you're comfortable enough, especially you advanced students. So the select query is the query that you probably use the most in this class, and that statement is basically saying you're pulling something from a table. So when you run a select query, there's two things that you need. You need the name of the columns, which I'm bypassing by using this wildcard. That means select every column, all right? And you need a table name. So in our schema, we have a table called employees. And you see here, the SQL developer will let you know that that's a valid table in the schema. So you get that little highlight. Now you can end it, Python doesn't use semicolons. They laughed that out of there, but us old guys in the old days, the semicolon was absolutely the end of the statement. If you have several queries, always end them with a semicolon. I'll just say that right away. So this is a basic, we're going to select all the columns from that employees table. And yes, there's a shortcut key, but just use the little, I mean, we like clicking on things, right? Just click on the little green arrow and voila, we just ran our first query. And this table and these data, there's only 20 records in there, but these are our employees. And we have employee ID, first name, last name, email, phone number, hire date, job ID, salary, commission percentage, manager ID, department ID, and bonus. All pretty much what you would have in a regular real life employees table. So once you get your developer set up, run this very basic query. You're just selecting all the data that's in that table. And yes, I have my own way syntax. I use all uppercase for the statements or the function or parts of the statement. I use all lowercase for the tables and the column names. And just to show you, if you hover over that star, just right, I did it, it'll show you all the columns that are in that table. Another developer feature. So you can select any of those columns. So let's just select one. Let's just select last name and what else? If you have multiple columns, you can head start. You want to separate them with the comma. So I'm selecting last name and salary from that employees table. There you go. Now, does that query make sense to everyone? All right, I'm done. You all graduated. Fine. We can skip everything else. So if you can run those two queries, then you're well ahead of the game. And select is a statement. Select is just like it sounds. You're selecting something. And from is you're indicating the table. Those are required. When you're running a select statement, you have to have a from and a table. Now you can have, and you have to have columns, but you can substitute that with star, which is just a wildcard. That stands for all columns. All right, everyone get that? All right, so you have 2 weeks to get to be very comfortable with that very basic query. Can we all do that? Thumbs up. Ooh, got a lot of thumbs up, nods. You're a very active group. That's good. We're starting on the right foot, so I feel like I'm accomplishing something. Yes, Vanessa.
If I put in the schema text, it asked me to save it somewhere. I'm thinking I saved it in the wrong place because this pulled as an error when I tried to run this query.
This query? Well,
yeah.
Okay, let's walk through that again. When you ran the schema, I think I still have that on my clipboard.
It was copy and paste everything from the text, right?
All of this.
Yeah.
It's crazy business here. And you ran it, right?
Yes.
I'm going to run it. Actually, maybe I did clean this up. And it does give you an error. That's fine. Ignore that. Now, you should be able to expand the ORCL. Go over here to the connections and click on the plus. That should expand your attributes or your objects in your database, and then expand the tables. You should see the employees table in there. You see that?
Okay. Well, it doesn't have the schema text in there at all, so I'm just going to exit and do it again.
That's always a good practice.
Okay.
So that, and there's a way you can, but this is probably the best way to check to see that you have all the tables. Because if you don't run a schema, you don't have these WF countries and these DCDS and all these things that we're going to work with. But the employees table, basically what we're doing is we're adding that data. And that's probably the
Yeah, it lets me access that.
right. So you're running this query that I'm typing in again,
Mm-hmm.
and you sure you're typing it in?
Well, now I'm thinking, okay, so it's the green plus or it's the little SQL.
Yeah, you should have a query builder. So not the, what you're referring to, what green plus?
Yeah. Yeah, that little green thing up top or the green plus on the left side that says connections.
No, yeah, we already have the ORCL. That's your connection. So
Okay.
we're not creating a new connection. So you just need to click on the little SQL figure up here to open up a query builder working area in the developer. Does it look like this?
Yes.
So you can type in a query, and you said you received an error when you ran this one.
Yeah.
Can you read back the error that you have?
Yeah, it says ORA-00900 imbalance SQL statement. And it is select. Do I need to put a space between select and the asterisk and?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That
It
could
should
be
look
it.
just like this. So I hope everyone else, did anyone else run this query and get any issues? No issues.
Okay, that works. Thank you.
There you go. And thank you for pointing that out. Syntax, and we're going to talk about, this was just a kind of an introduce you to that. The syntax SQL, just like any programming language, is very tricky. You can, test a few things, check out a few things, but generally I will give you something that will run. My purpose is not to trip you up. So just follow that syntax and it'll be fine. Yes, Vera.
I know you went over this as well. I was just having trouble logging in to actually create the connection in the first place.
Okay, because it won't allow, unless you have the connection, it won't allow you to do anything. So
Right.
you'll be able to get in, or?
No, I'm just not sure how to log in.
All right, so you're on the landing page, this welcome page.
Mhm.
Here,
Create
you
a
don't have this
connection.
connection. So if you don't have this connection, click on the little plus,
Okay. Mhm.
and that will bring up the dialog box. And then you need all of this information. Well, that's a new connection. Here, let me show you the information needed. You need to name it ORCL, and that's important. ORCL,
Okay.
all lowercase. It should be Oracle, should be default, and then your credentials here. It should be basic. This is important. This the host name. It's CG because it's our instance. .iti.oracle or -iti-oracle and this is on the information that's in Canvas.
Oh, gotcha.
.cc.maricopa.edu. It has to be that. If it's not that, you're not hitting, it will not allow you to make a connection. It has to be port
Gotcha.
1521 and SID should be selected, and it has to be ORCL.
Perfect. Okay, gotcha. Thank you for that.
Yep. Anyone else having issues creating the connection? Jeff, you're okay?
Yeah, my toddlers walked by for a second. They were
Oh.
struggling, but I'm also running it, and I was able to run mine.
Okay, cool.
When I did run the schema, it did ask for me to enter a value for B.
Yeah.
I just left it blank and continued.
Yeah, don't worry about that. I need to take
Okay.
that out, but yeah, just if don't enter a value, just run it and then close it or exit or X out the tab, one of these tabs. Yeah, she'll get errors or it may ask you to do something, but that's fine. You don't need to save it, so. And I just created another query building tab. So that's what that SQL, that little SQL button there is. You can open up as many tabs as you want. I do want to mention before I end this evening, this is very important. So, and I'll type in my query again. because this is how I grade your assignments. Whenever you're tasked to run a query, in any aspect, maybe not, well, definitely in the on the midterm and the final, but on the assignments, you have a document that you can download and you can add your screenshots to it. What I require, whenever you run a query, you get a result table, right? So all you need to do is take a screenshot of this, the query and the results, and then copy and paste that into the document. And then either upload the document or you can create an image. Some students just upload a bunch of images, that's fine. As long as I see that you're running the query in the developer. Please do not just send me a query or send me a result. I would like to see the query and the result. This is the result here, all of this. Because it says query result. See that? That's pretty tricky. But I do need to see the query and the result. And we're going to start doing that with the assignment in a couple weeks. And that goes, well, if you want to be an overachiever, you can do that on the quizzes. You can do, because Canvas will allow that. You just save an image, you can upload it. For those types, the query is fine. Some of them will give you a scenario and you have to write the query to achieve that result. That's on the quizzes. On the assignments, I do want you can download that document, and I'll show you this in a couple weeks to refresh your memory. And you can just, it's a Word doc, so you can just copy and paste your image, which is a screenshot or a print page or whatever you have, into that Word document. Now, those of you using VS Code, well, it's the same thing. It just looks different because you're super programmers like Mackenzie. Oh, I said I was going to stop picking on you, but oh well. All right, any other questions? Did you all have dinner? Everyone eat dinner before they came to class? Oh, that's too bad. I did, sorry. Well, I had macaroni and cheese, it was pretty easy. I just had to warm it up. Anyway, sorry, I digress. So you're probably hungry. So it's way past dinner time. But anyway, I think I've talked long enough. I think we'll have a very good time in this class. Once again, it's a lot to do, but as I said before, I kind of revised it to make it, well, I'll admit, I revised it to make it easier on me. I don't care about the students. No, I revised it to make it easier to navigate through the assignments. It is, there's a lot. I should stop saying that. Well, it'll be enough for you to do to learn. Yes. So, and I do want to point out, if you have any questions, the Canvas email is the best way to reach me. I'm basically looking at that all the time, and it does transfer that information to my CGC email. So you guys bug me all the time with all the crazy emails. So Jeff's quit writing those crazy emails. Or anyway, okay, because I didn't want to pick on Mackenzie, so I'll pick on Jeff. Because you're the procrastinator. You just pretended with that one assignment submission. I know it.
Yeah, I'll start off strong for the first few weeks, and then I'll start procrastinating.
I'm not going to allow you to do that.
Okay.
I'm going to call your house, speak to your wife, and all that stuff. Tell her to bonk you over the head, get you to submit your assignments on time. All right. So this will be a good time. I think I'm going to let Mackenzie teach the next lecture. See, she said okay. All right. She'll have everything done, but make sure you finish those. Do the syllabus quiz so I don't have to come out to your house and twist your arm. That is mandatory, and then that kind of solidifies your enrollment anyway, so I don't have to drop you. And then the only two other things you need to do, which is required. There you go. So that's my idea of starting out slow, and then I think I'm going to shave my head next time, and I don't know, breathe fire or something that I look menacing or something. But anyway, but there you go. So this will be a good class. I have more students than last semester, but no, not the same. So any last questions, comments. You are allowed to comment. One comment. It has to be positive. Oh, Vanessa, you're just being nice. So yes, I try to pride myself to be approachable, and I've done a lot. I've learned a lot myself. So I want to pass that on to you. So that's my job. My job is not just to facilitate this class, but help you learn. So please don't be afraid to ask questions. Of course, I'll just direct you to Mackenzie since she's the tutor. She'll answer it for you. But yes, so that's my job. But this will be a good experience. And yes, SQL, whatever you want to call it, is truly important. And just to let you know, kind of a parting, I do a lot with ML, machine learning, and AI. That's one of my side hobbies. I've learned that understanding basic levels of SQL is tremendously important. You know, you think there's a separation with that. Ooh, AI. Everyone's like, AI is this magic thing that happens in the background. We don't have to worry about it. It is not. It's all based on data and receiving data and managing data. It truly is. So remember that when you're thinking about why am I doing this? There you go. You want to be an AI specialist. That's a new job title of the future anyway. We all have to be, up on our AI understanding, not just using it like ChatGPT or Copilot, but understanding what's behind it. And that's another thing. One other parting, I'm going to give you what you need to be successful. Don't use ChatGPT. It's just not going to help you with your queries unless you're truly stuck. But then talk to Mackenzie. She's a tutor, so she'll do a lot better than ChatGPT. I guarantee you. So there you go. All right. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for paying attention. You're all good students. Most of you. The jury's still out on Jeff. I'm going to talk to his toddler. But I will see you all in 2 weeks now. 2 weeks. And remember, get those assignments in on time. They are due this week, and then you can take a break. Just one little break. That's it. All right. All right. Take care, everyone.
Thank
See
you.
y'all later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.